she realises that you're not into
the
dry pocket rocket.
We're not in no alliance. What
we're
you're
not in
talking
an
about?
alliance. EQ's got nothing on me. I've got nothing on her. I don't. What do you mean?
I don't need his platform. He
what I'm
doesn't
saying
need
is,
mine.
when she realises finally, because you're a bit deluded, EQ, that you know, when you realise that he's not gonna fucking smash one in you, because I know his thoughts deep in his head, exactly my thoughts. Then he's gonna be like, you're gonna be gutted and.
To give
everyone who's watching as well, listen, what I'm doing is not, it's not just a absolute target on DG. It's going to be more people. This isn't just I'm setting an account up to go after DG. DG's come on the radar, and like he says, I'm the biggest on the app, I've got the most numbers. Well, yeah, you've got the most people coming forward as well. So it's
what do you mean?
Once you're done, once you've been dissected, we'll move on to someone else.
You've been on me for a few days now, though, no?
A few days? Is that a long time, is it? I've been sat in my hot tub in the day. You only come on at 11:30. You've been on yet?
Yeah.
He's been building momentum.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like it.
It's more words to
can I ask you a question, Carl? Can I ask you a question? Why, when did your view on me change? When you were quite happy to sit there asking, like, you know, as I say, because you were coming in my live. You were like. Sat chatting in the comments, sat doing whatever you're doing, and you were, you know, as I say, it might not have been messages, but you were in the comments, and you did, you know, you had been in my box, and I had been in your live.
As I do with a lot of creators, I'll jump in and put that fist emoji, as in to say, all right, how's it going? And if you want to take that as some sort of, I don't know, we've got a friendship for ages, and I've turned on you, then take it as it is. But I've just seen you for what you are. I've sat and I've watched. I didn't see it at first, but I've sat and I've watched these people gifting you constantly, these Crashleys gifting you constantly, these Freds. Granted, Fred's got a bit of money, but what's going on?
What do you mean, what's going on? That's the app, no? Do people, is it a gift?
That's the app.
In all fairness, Karma, Fred's always supported DG from day one.
Fred
may have been a bad example because of his financial situation, but
yeah, but where's the limit though? Because the amount he's gifting is a hell of a lot. Aren't you ready to say to him now? Listen, you personally have done enough. Why do you?
Well, can you not say that to Tommy T?
No, Tommy T's a multi-millionaire, love, and he doesn't gift the excess that Fred does. He gives me the odd thing here or there. He's not like Fred. So isn't there a point where you say to Fred, listen,
a lot of the app. He supports a lot of the app.
No, but listen, isn't there a point where you say to Fred, let me speak. It's intellectual, understands if your brain works. So isn't there a point now when Fred's like 300,000, 400,000 pounds deep invested in you to say, listen, you've got your own future to think of as well. You've done well enough for me. You know, can you just think about yourself a bit and hold off a little bit, you know, because it is a lot of money to be coming from one person. I understand a community and people who will club together, what have you. But when it comes to an individual spending that much money, when does the point become to stop for them and their life?
Okay. So Tommy T supports a lot of people on the app, yeah? So why don't you slide into Tommy and say...
What are you doing here, DG? Sorry,
listen, it was my turn to reply to EQ. You don't have to butt in a sec, just while I finish.
Yeah, but what you're doing is deflecting.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you.
You've been called out on something, and the first thing you've said is, what about Tommy T? So you've acknowledged the situation's wrong, and you've also pointed to someone else to say, well, you're doing it, so I'll keep doing it. That's basically what you just said.
No,
yes,
let me finish what I'm saying then, right? So see, Fred, you've just said, Fred, you know, his financial situation, he must have, how do you know how much the guy's got or how much of the thing, right?
Well, how much is he spending?
I never said it was about how much. I said, don't you think he's done enough? And you could actually say at this stage now, you know, to think about his own future and his own old age, because money doesn't last forever. And the amount he's given you, it's not going to last very long. So
Yeah, because Fred gifts his I assume he supports me the most out of it. He's not like a Tommy T who supports everybody. Whereas so realistically, Tommy T supports a lot of people.
But this is deflection. You won't answer what I've said about your gift there. You're deflecting onto something else.
Let me finish.
It's not about finishing because you're deflecting. That's what you're doing.
Tommy T is the same gift level as Fred.
No, but I've asked you about yours.
Yes, and I'm gonna reply.
No, this isn't a reply though.
God.
It's not a reply. You just because I'll mute, but you are deflecting.
Okay, so Tommy T is the same gifter level as Fred, but because Fred just supports me and like that, and Tommy T will support everybody. So it looks like whatever. It doesn't just support me, but he supports me a lot compared to how much he'll support. Whereas in Tommy T spreads his support out. So there's no difference, but he just spreads his support out.
Have you ever reached out to that Fred and said,
yes.
Are you all right? No, wait. Are you all right at home? Is everything all right? Have you got a problem? Is something going on? You've reached out to him and said that?
Yes. And I have and I'm not going to mention names because I don't know, and I have, and like you can ask Maxine, or like you can ask Gaynor, or like you can ask anybody who unusually gifts that I don't notice that they're gifting. And I always say it on my live, anyone who is unusually gifting, I have messaged them and said, I've noticed you're gifting slightly, different than what you'd usually give. Please make sure you're okay. And I can prove this right now with dates, with everything. If I notice somebody is unusually gifting, I will message them and say, please make sure you're okay, and make sure that you're not gifting more than you can afford. And that's even if I'm going for number one, number anything. I would much rather that person be financially stable and not doing this because of a number.
That's just something you do to reel them in even further.
So what else can I do? What else can I do? Do you want me to go to their house and fucking
That's just reeling them in even further.
Can I just quickly say something? Kamikaze, is that your name, right? I just feel like you're going for the big creators for one reason only, and that's the views, right? You're going for big creators for that.
It's to open.
Wait, man, let me just let me finish. Number 2, I think there's a bit of jealousy there. Yeah. Number 3, EQ was close to GG not so long ago, and that's what you do. EQ, you fall out with someone, next minute you're throwing them under the bus. Yeah. So you do play a game on here, and then you got the John Chelsea. What about John Chelsea? Who was that? That was gifting you quite a lot. EQ. Did you message them?
Deflecting.
So there you go.
He can't answer for himself, so you've had to jump in. So you're deflecting the conversation onto me. We've asked DG a question. You're not allowing him to answer.
Yeah, the thing is, you are playing a game. You were supporting DG not so long ago, and now that you've had a fallout with him, is now you're throwing him under the bus. When you've got big gifters, do you message your big?
Play into your deflection.
No, this is a
conversation.
Take no responsibility who gives me.
Deflection.
Angie, just to answer your question or accusation, whatever it was, can't understand what you're saying. Why I'm coming after big creators? If I highlight what someone's doing and they've got a big audience, that's more people listening, more people seeing. It's more vulnerable people coming forward. I might have got people coming out saying, yeah, he's done this, yeah, he's done that, or he scammed me for this, or he did that. If I go for someone who's got 10 people in the live, it's not going to have an effect, is it?
You might do it in front of 7.5 now.
What?
I want you to expose me in front of 7,500.
I know what you want, DG, but in the real world, you don't always get what you want when you want. Okay. Remember that.
Everyone follow Kamikaze so you get to see.
What about Kamikaze, whatever your name is? What about the creators that do have mental health? What about them that you're attacking, the big creators? What about their mental health?
So you're saying if you have mental health, that's a get out of jail free card?
I don't have mental health.
I'm happy. DG, I'm not saying you have mental health.
You're talking about vulnerable people.
Yeah. So that means if you're vulnerable, you can then take advantage of someone else who's vulnerable. Or is that just a get out of jail free card?
Someone that's vulnerable. I take no responsibility who gives me, and I made that very clear. If you give me, you give me. I take no responsibility, and neither should DG. What about EQ? What about her biggest gifters?
Like I said, DG's just on the radar at the minute. I was on Misread before Misread come out. I was on Zach before that all come out. It's fine.
It just seems one-sided to me.
It's one-sided at the minute because at the minute DG's on the top of the list.
But why? I'm not number one, though. I'm not number one. So I'm not even close to number one. So why was I the first you picked? Because of the amount of people. That's what it is. Because I have a big platform.
You do stuff in the past that doesn't then just get wiped away because we're in a new week. Do you understand that? Do you understand how many lives you've probably destroyed in the last 6 months by doing all this leaderboard shit, by getting people in these groups? Do you understand
So
that?
can I in 6 months?
You've got people gifting you like 200 quid, 300 quid in an evening, and the
But what's
sat
that
there.
to do with DG? It's TikTok. Go and complain to TikTok. It's their app.
That's
Wait,
no,
what's
see,
DG?
see that Angie. I don't know how you've got this position up here because I wouldn't normally be speaking to you. I don't get it. I've only jumped up because of what's going on. I wouldn't normally have a conversation with you. I don't believe in your morals or anything.
Give it 6 months and this kamikaze will be raking it into.
No, it's not going to happen.
Exactly that. He only wants a platform because everyone was bored of listening to him sat on his couch with a telly with a thing on a box screen going.
This is all you can do to flex when as soon as someone comes out.
J. Crew!
It's just embarrassing at this point, G-String. It's just embarrassing.
Angie's
All the 39%.
is G Crew vulnerable then because he was doing a live.
Yeah, exactly.
So DG, are you taking advantage of G Crew now or what?
Yeah, everybody.
He's
who gives me, I took
openly
advantage
saying
of,
he's
obviously.
vulnerable, DG. Listen to the point. G Crew is posting videos about being vulnerable, and he's just sent you almost £800. What have you got to say for yourself?
The G Crew sits and he battles himself. So what's the difference?
See, they're trying to clutch at anything. I love it because, as I say, listen, we've all
person,
started here trying to grab a name, and you're trying to grab your name, and I respect it, but you've got to remember once all this sort of goes, you're not going to get what you want from this. Trust me.
Yeah, but I don't make my money on TikTok. Do you understand?
No,
that?
I know,
I don't need to come on here to grow.
We've all said this. We've all said this. I've,
No,
you know,
but the
trust me,
difference is-
I've
the
done
difference is-
exposing the bags, stuff
The
like
difference
that.
is you was a low level painter. So this is a level up to you. So you can't jump off this now because you're getting too much in your
I
lives.
can do whatever I
Your
like.
life's revolving around this
You
now.
don't know
Mine
me.
isn't.
You don't know
I'm
me.
literally just doing this to bring awareness to what's going on in it. That's it.
Yeah.
As simple as that. So you can say I
If you were
fall off.
doing it for
If I
awareness,
fell,
if
if
you were
I
doing it for
fell off
awareness.
quotation marks next week, what am I falling off from?
You never
Opening
fell
people's
on.
eyes? What am I falling off from? I'm not financially
views.
falling off, am I? My views. But what?
You fell on.
So that'll benefit
fell
you
off.
then, won't it? If less people are watching me, less people are hearing the truth. It's what it is, isn't it? So it works. That's how the app works. So just keep going for the leaderboard. Do what you're doing. G Crew, keep sending him stuff. It's all right. All right, pay.
I know it is. I know it is exactly that. No one's. Yeah, it's yeah. There's nothing
Kamikaze, do you
else
have your
to say.
gifts on when you go live?
Yeah.
There you go.
He's
So
not against gifts. He's
What do you mean?
against
There you go. I'm not-
vulnerable people being taken advantage of and manipulated into gifting. You're not listening, Angie. He's not against gifts.
If someone sends me a fucking rose, okay,
Everyone
I don't have
manipulates
to do a welfare check on that person because they've sent me a penny gift, do I? I don't have to message them and say, is everything all right? When I see the profile picture and they've got like a kid's birthday going on and the kid's got like nothing. I don't have to say, is everything all right, do I? If someone's sending like 200, 300 quid at a time and it's the same thing, it's a bit of difference in there.
Okay, well, I sent EQ 2 lions once. Well, that's 600 quid. She didn't message me to see if I'm okay.
Okay, so now we're getting
Well,
somewhere.
well,
So
what's the difference?
do you feel you were taken advantage of? Were you vulnerable?
No, but I don't think DG manipulates people to get gifts either.
But you've just used it as an
Well, I was just saying
example.
to contact me to say, well, that's 600 quid. Are you okay?
Okay, so
Like,
you're bringing it up as if it was an issue for you to send that. So is everything all right at home? Can you afford to send 600 quid to someone?
well, yes. I want to send it otherwise.
But this is the thing.
Well, EQ doesn't know that.
You're using your head thinking, I would send it otherwise. There's people who aren't.
But this is the whole point of the
I
game.
do know that, Angie. I know you've done leaderboard. I know you're financially stable. So why would I have to message you? Because I know you. You were on the app together, so we know each other. So that's a difference again.
I think, I'm not going to lie, listen,
he's
everyone
he's not against gifts.
Everyone manipulates on TikTok.
So
It
this
doesn't
is what
make
I'm
it
saying.
right,
Your whole
It doesn't make
argument
it right.
falls apart, right? Because no matter what, you still have your gifts on. So what you're saying is you're happy to take the money But whether it's how or you're saying I manipulate. Well, I do hope to see the proof. I really do, honestly. But what I'm saying is, you're sat there with your gifts on, which means this same vulnerable person, say, could be gifting you, and just because you're not in a battle or just because you're not doing it, they're still gifting you, and just because it's a higher amount of money than roses. So what you're saying is you've got a problem with people who gift big amounts, and just because you get roses, you're gutted about it. That's what it sounds like.
No, you're twisting it. That's not what the problem is. The problem is people who can't afford or aren't in the right mind frame to send these big gifts to you, and you're saying, oh, you've got a boxing glove, stick the boxing glove up. Come on, we can do it. MVP this, MVP that. It's just pushy. Too pushy.
Yeah, but nobody has to gift, right? And
people
TikTok
who are
can put a glove there, so I can't ask for a glove.
People who are vulnerable don't need to be asked, do they? They don't need to be told, stop it. They don't need to be told, do this. They do it because they're getting something off the back of it. It might be attention or something. You might be love bombing them in the background. I don't know. Something like that.
I've got unis. I said put the glove down. I said get unis. They could be vulnerable. I don't know. That's 300 or 400 quid. It's part of the game. It's TikTok.
Thank you for admitting it, Angie. So you're just verifying what he's saying by admitting it, so there's a problem on this app, isn't there? Which is what he's raising awareness about.
It's TikTok, right? It's their app.
The awareness will be raised because clearly you're agreeing that there could be vulnerable people who are gifting. So what's the problem with Karmacast raising the awareness?
Maybe they shouldn't be.
I'm sure you don't want gifts off vulnerable people, neither do I.
Also, Karmacast, just be careful showing messages because I hope you know the laws changed and you can get yourself into trouble.
Please explain to me in what way I can get myself in trouble if a victim comes forward and says, please, can you show this?
Okay, well, there was a lady on here the other day saying that apparently if you do that,
it must be true.
It's now against the law to show messages that people have sent to you.
Oh yeah, that is the thing. But I listen. I'm not there. I do want. If they give the permission, apparently, if I give you permission, I want you to show the message. I want to be exposed for this big manipulator, this person who's like, I listen. That's the thing.
It's like you want it out all at once.
The thing is, guys, TikTok is a master manipulator.
But it's not going to work like that, DJ. It's not going to go at your pace.
We even have like a gifting level, gifting badge. Why do you think TikTok had put that on? That's a form of manipulation. So the people you need to go to is TikTok themselves.
No, that's incorrect because you're involved in it. You're involved. What's going on? You're fueling what they're doing, aren't you? Or are you not?
Well, so is EQ then.
Oh, there you go. Deflection. Everyone's deflecting onto someone else. Like I've said, DG is just this week. There's more people. Everyone thinks it's just, I've set this account up just to go after DG. DG's one of many people I talk about. Many people.
And I like that.
That's it. And we'll move on to the next one. But all I'm trying to do is get some awareness out to people who are a bit vulnerable, who are smashing the gifts in and expecting, I don't know, attention back or something.
I mean, I'm not being funny. That's their responsibility. Sorry, that is. If they're gonna, maybe they shouldn't be on the app.
Because they're vulnerable.
Yeah, then maybe they shouldn't be on the app. What about
let's raise the awareness.
What about trolling? What about bullying?
Listen, all these things you're talking about, we can move on to at a different date. But at the minute, it's not about trolling and it's not about any of the other things, is it? It's about vulnerable people sending too much money, which they can't afford, to creators. That's what it's about at the minute. And
are you going to do Evil Queen
DG,
next?
I'm not on here to try and take your account down. I'm not on here to try and ruin you.
Well, EQ's been number one many times. Are you going to do
Why
EQ?
is everyone pushing it onto me? What's going on?
No, I want to know if he is going to go on to EQ because you set a target before you go.
Well, everyone on this app is like, "What about EQ? What about EQ? Talk about yourselves."
I want to ask a question. So you set a target before you're live and say until it's completed, we're not starting. So you're pushing people to send you them gifts to start your live. So are you going to then next week? Are you going to do this exposure and on EQ? Karmacast, sorry.
Yeah, say the name correctly. Listen, everyone who's a big gifter on here.
No, you're deflecting.
Everyone who's a big creator.
Are you going to do it on the EQ next
Everyone
week?
who's a big creator, I'll go through.
See.
It's as simple as that.
But I don't
Deflecting.
mind him doing me. I
Simple
don't
that. She said.
care.
She said
don't
from day
mind.
one she doesn't mind.
I don't mind. I've
He's
just said I'm
bound to have to talk about me,
happily do
otherwise he's
it.
going to look some type of way. So he's going to talk about me. But what about you? What about all
Yeah,
of you?
I'm saying do it. I'm happy for you to do it. I've said this. I said, but
I'm
I'd
not
rather
going to
do it
go
for
at your pace, though. You want it all now. It's going to come out. So everyone follow Karma Kaz. 7.9 thousand people at 11:30 tonight. Be there.
And it'd be good if even just the least we can get out of this. If you did a video or something at some point, don't have to mention any names or anything, but just to bring awareness to people who are
Yo,
vulnerable.
Karma Kaz.
Yo.
You know, so you're the Carl Pilkington guy, yeah, bro? I
Yeah.
remember me and you